Hi, my name is Nomalanga Sally Moses with Healthy Black Women and Successful Black Women. And I'm here today with Patrice Johnson, one of my favorite people. Patrice, if you don't know her, which you should by now, has a segment called Daddy and Daughter Discussions, which she does on a channel on YouTube. She's also a prolific blogger on Naturally Moi, which is an amazing blog for Black women. And I've also had the pleasure of watching Patrice teach me how to do my makeup because she's a beauty blogger as well and does tutorials on YouTube as well. How you doing, Patrice?
I'm doing great, Miss Nomalanga. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's that Botswana weather?
Actually, it's great, but I'm in Boston, my second home in Boston. So, I'm feeling almost the same way that you are, dreading that winter's coming. Give you the opportunity to tell everybody, what all this is about, because we're both very excited about it and it's still new.
Yes, we are very excited. We are now starting a new project, which is called Your Black Women, which is supposed to be a sibling of Your Black World. And basically, it's where Black women get together of all ages, and we keep it real. We talk about everything that Black women have ever wanted to know, from relationships to money to family to fashion to anything that you want to talk about. We're going to talk about that. So tune in twice a week, and we're going to get y'all together. Okay. So, how about this article that we read on the BuzzFeed website by Jamila Lumax? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. You want me to say a little bit about it?
Say a little bit about it. What do you think?
Okay, so the article was written by a woman who went to an HBCU, which of course is a historically Black college or university. And she's expressing that, now she's obviously left the college, she's moved on with her life and her career, but she's looking back and thinking that maybe she should have found a husband while she was on that HBCU campus. And the actual title of the blog post is, I forgot to find my husband when I was at an HBCU. So she's now wishing that she had found a husband when she was still at an HBCU. The second thing is, at least that I picked up from the article, was she said that at the time, though, she really hadn't come into herself, and she didn't feel like she had the confidence and the self-esteem to go into a relationship. But there was certainly a lot of eligible young men who were going to do something with their lives. They were at HBCU getting an education and planning their future, and she thinks that there were a lot of eligible men there. But then the other thing is, now she feels like she's more confident, has a better self-esteem, but she doesn't have access to all those men because they're not grouped together in one place. So what did you pick up from it, Patrice?
Well, from the article, I definitely saw that she was insecure. She's talked about her weight, how she went from like a size 16 to a size 18, 20, and I think that can kill any woman's self-esteem because some people can be very rude and very disrespectful. One thing that did catch my attention, though, was how she said that in the article, some men had approached her, but she felt like they were brothers. So in my thought, it was almost like she was putting people in the friend zone who may have actually been interested in her. And I think that a lot of women do that. A lot of women, I've heard some women say, well, he's too nice, or he's just a friend. And I'm just like, you want somebody that's nice, right? You don't want somebody who treats you like a girl that, they can just take on a date and then they'll take another one on the date. You want somebody who actually respects you and who wants your presence. And I think that sometimes, I know for me, when I was in college, I didn't have the pleasure of going to an HBCU. But the Black men that I did date, a lot of times, unfortunately, I did put them in the friend zone. And I learned my lesson once I left college, so.
Right. Well, one of the things, and I remember doing a segment on this some time ago where it talked about that a lot of women have an idea of what the perfect man is. And sometimes they meet perfectly wonderful guys, but they just don't fit this weird, rigid list of things that they've come up with, and sometimes the lists are ridiculous. You make this amount of money, he should have this position, he should be this tall, he should be chiseled, he should be this, he should be that. And hey, it's okay. You can want what you want, but at the same time, don't put yourself in such a exclude everybody and then find yourself alone, unless alone is what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
I think that I think when you're younger, dating is almost. Have you ever seen that reality show that Chili had called What Chili Wants from TLC?
I heard about it, and I think I may have seen bits of it, but I've never really committed to watching a whole episode.
Well, in that show, let me tell you, first of all, he couldn't eat pork. He couldn't smoke. He couldn't drink. He couldn't, wash the dishes without gloves on. Like, it was just totally ridiculous. Like, the man had to be absolutely perfect. And I think that, unfortunately, a lot of black women are raised to believe that a man is supposed to be a Prince Charming. I know that I have two brothers. So I've seen where my parents will tell me, or my mom and my stepdad will tell me, a guy's supposed to be nice to you. He's supposed to take you wherever you want to go. He's supposed to buy you dinner. He's supposed to do all of this stuff. But then they tell my brothers, if a girl wants to have sex with you, you have sex with that girl, and then you have sex with that girl, and you have 5 different girlfriends. So a lot of black men are not raised to be monogamous, but a lot of black women are raised to only want one thing. And if they don't have that one thing, then they won't have anything. And I'm just like, well, if I'm being raised to have someone who's perfect, but the next man is raising his son to not be perfect, then how am I supposed to find somebody? It doesn't make any sense. Do you feel that way?
It does. There is a double standard. Right. I'm hearing that you're saying that there's kind of a double standard. But the thing about it, Patrice, is even if a guy was well raised and taught to be monogamous, if that's what, a specific woman wants, a monogamous guy, and she wants him educated, she wants him all these things, at the end of the day, still, nobody's perfect. And even if they look perfect in the beginning, get to know them a little bit. And everybody, as you peel away the layers, has, they have many layers, and you might not like some of the layers that you find underneath what look like perfection. But the other point that, when we're just talking about this topic a few minutes ago that I thought was interesting was, you mentioned that was at an HBCU. So, there's mainly black women there, and there's mainly black men there. Black men and black women. Whereas if you go to just a regular college that's not an HBCU, then there's a few black men and a whole bunch of women, and the black men are not restricting themselves to just white black women. Everybody has a chance, and then the competition goes up. So she really did, I think, miss out on a big opportunity. What do you think?
I think she missed out on a big opportunity, but I do think that being self-conscious, because I've been at that point before in my life when I was younger where I was very self-conscious. And I think that can play a huge role in whether you have a boyfriend, whether you get married, whether you talk to boys, whether you have male friends. It can play a huge part in a lot of that stuff. And another thing that caught my eye was how she had said, that she said that she needed confidence, and then she finally found it after college. So my thought is, what gave her that confidence after college? Because she didn't say she really had any bad experiences. So I'm curious as to what happened to make her feel okay, because now she has a 2-year-old child.
Well, we can only speculate, but I do know that, as you get older as a woman, you do get more comfortable in your own skin. You may not necessarily have the highest level of self-esteem and be the most confident, but certainly I find that as I get older, I know myself more. I know what I want out of life, and I know my strengths and weaknesses, but above all, I'm just comfortable with who I am. And that means that I'm more confident than when I was younger, and I was still trying to figure things out, as unsure of things. And I was easily led in one way and then, led in another way. At this point, I feel like I've stabilized a little bit, and, 40 is like inching really close. So the good thing that the good thing that I can say about it is I do look forward to the fact that you kind of really do become more of yourself, and you care less about pleasing people who don't really matter, and you just care about being authentic and being who you are, and you invite people into your life who feel the same way. So it feels a little more, a peaceful kind of way of life and a more relaxed way of life, where I feel like when I always was all over the place in terms of how I felt and whether should I do this, should I do that. So maybe that's what she's referring to. She's just gotten older, and with time comes more experience, more comfort with who you are.
Well, Nomalanga said it. I really don't have any other points. Do you?
I did want to mention one other thing. I did a segment with Dr. Boyce, Watkins, and a lady named the Princeton Mom. She actually has a book. I can't remember the book off the top of my head, but the premise of the Princeton Mom is obviously she's talking about she graduated from an Ivy League college, and her whole thing is when a young woman goes to college, her mindset should be, obviously she's not trying to hook somebody and trap them into marriage right in college, but she does say that the best time in your life as a woman is when you're in college. That's when, you haven't acquired too many responsibilities. You maybe don't have a job and all these other things. So the most important thing, which relates back to the story, is that you have a lot of young, eligible bachelors on the campus, and that should be the time where maybe you don't marry somebody there, but certainly build relationships that even if they don't develop into romantic relationships or marriage, you keep in touch with those people, because those are going to be the people amongst whom your husband will emerge. And again, that's assuming that you want one, because I'm, realizing nowadays, the more and more I talk to people, especially people younger than me, they're kind of like, who said I wanted a husband? I'm cool, I can just have a long-term relationship or whatever. But in terms of wanting to have a marriage, the thing that the Princeton Mom says is the best time to find a husband is when you're in college. That's where the most eligible bachelors are, and they're all in one place.
Well, they're the most eligible bachelors, but at the same time, a lot of people don't want to get married at 23 and 24.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
That could be the right place, but I don't think that it's the right time. Because at 24, you haven't really experienced life outside of technically being a child, really. Because even in college, I know when I was in college, I was broke. So my mother was still giving me money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then once you get out of college, you have to get a job. You have to get your own place. There's so much stuff that you have to do, and you're taking this person along with you. What if they want to experience something different? So what would you say to somebody like that?
I think she's not saying get them and marry them right then and then. I think what she's saying is understand that those are important relationships. And even if you don't marry the person, keep in touch with them. You don't necessarily marry that person, but maybe later in life, they're going to be the person that introduces you to the man that you will marry, or something down the line. It's a kind of like staying in that community. And I can actually say I have personal experience with that, because when I finished college, I actually ended up working with one of my friends from college, and I actually ended up marrying his brother-in-law. So it was still within that college circle. Now, mind you, by that time, I was in my late 20s, so I wasn't trying to get married when I knew him, and I was only 21, 22 or whatever. But down the line, because of one of my friends from college, I ended up meeting my husband, who obviously I married, and 11 years later, it's a great thing. But it still did come from the relationships that I built when I was in college. So I think that's kind of how you can look at it, as in it doesn't mean you have to trap somebody or go to college hungry to get a husband, because nothing stinks worse than desperation.
Oh, God, no. No thirstiness. No thirstiness.
Well, this has definitely been a great segment. I hope that our audience enjoyed it, and they'll let us know what they think about some of the topics that we've been choosing.
Yes, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to talk about next, what you want to hear us talk about, what you want to see, what you want to know. This is the place where Black women keep it real. So until next time, thank you all for viewing. Nomalanga, it was a pleasure speaking with you again twice today, but it's always a pleasure to see that beautiful smile, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you. So, anyways,
my pleasure too, Patrice.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you all so much. Once again, I'm Patrice, also known as Patrice from Daddy Daughter Discussions, Naturally Treece from Naturally Moi, and I also have a YouTube channel under Naturally Treece. Don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to go view Nomalanga. Tell them where they can view you at, Miss Nomalanga.
You can find me on Facebook under Nomalanga MM, and I'm also at Healthy Black Woman, and I also write for Successful Black Women.
All right, perfect. Until next time, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you guys later. Bye.